Victoria Caputo, daughter of Long Island medium Theresa Caputo, doesn't like having a family. Recently expressed resentment from the family. He stated that he is no longer interested in the decision to marry. Victoria says she has no inclination towards the world and wants to choose a different lifestyle for herself. Victoria and Michael's relationship has been discussed at various times before, but now there is a new controversy about her personal life. Victoria Caputo married Michael Mastrandria in 2021, but faced several challenges in their married life. Various complications appeared in their relationship, which eventually led to their separation. Although the reason for their breakup has not been revealed in detail, Victoria has recently expressed her displeasure. He says that mundane life is not his choice and he wants to rearrange his life. It is believed that his personal experience and perspective worked behind this decision. In between, she has spoken candidly about the matter even after becoming a mother to her new twins, which came as a surprise to many. This suggests that he might focus on living a single life in the future. Meanwhile, his family and close circles are discussing his decision. However, in a notable episode of Long Island Medium, Theresa Caputo addresses a mysterious glowing orb captured on a baby monitor. The family, intrigued and unsettled by the floating light, seeks Theresa's insight. Upon reviewing the footage, Theresa suggests that the orb represents the spirit of the baby's deceased grandfather, offering comfort by watching over his grandchild. This interpretation aligns with common beliefs among spiritual mediums, who often view orbs in photographs or videos as manifestations of spirits or energy presences. However, skeptics propose alternative explanations, such as dust particles, insects, or reflections causing such visual anomalies. For instance, discussions on platforms like Medibunk analyze similar orb phenomena, attributing them to natural causes like dust or insects near the camera lens, especially under infrared illumination. The episode underscores the varying perspectives on unexplained visual phenomena, balancing spiritual interpretations with scientific skepticism. While Theresa Caputo offers a comforting spiritual explanation to the family, attributing the orb to a protective ancestral presence, others encourage considering logical explanations before concluding a supernatural origin. However, Theresa Caputo, the renowned psychic medium from Long Island Medium, has often channeled spirits of individuals who tragically took their own lives, offering solace to grieving families. In one such session, she connected with the spirit of a young woman who had committed suicide, providing comfort to her loved ones. Theresa's compassionate approach aims to bring peace and understanding to those left behind, emphasizing that their departed loved ones are at peace. Through her readings, she helps families find closure and healing after such profound losses. However, brief overview of Theresa Caputo and her role as a psychic medium. Description of her work on the TV show Long Island Medium. The emotional, spiritual, and ethical aspects of communicating with spirits, particularly those who have taken their own lives. A look at her background and rise to fame as the Long Island Medium. Her early experiences with mediumship and how she discovered her ability to communicate with the deceased. Caputo's public persona and her work helping grieving families find closure. Explanation of mediumship and how Caputo claims to receive messages from the deceased. The process she uses during her sessions, both private and on her TV show. Tools and methods she uses to connect with spirits, including feelings, visions, and intuition. A sensitive exploration of suicide and its emotional impact on loved ones. How suicide differs from other forms of death in the mediumistic process. The stigma surrounding suicide, and how Caputo addresses this topic with respect. Specific examples of cases where Theresa has communicated with spirits of individuals who died by suicide. How she helps families navigate the complex emotions tied to these tragedies. Emotional responses from family members when hearing from loved ones who have taken their lives. How Caputo believes mediumship offers comfort and closure for the bereaved. The role of forgiveness, understanding, and healing in her sessions. Personal accounts of individuals who have found peace or resolution after connecting with a loved one through Caputo's channeling. Public reactions to Caputo's mediumship, particularly when dealing with sensitive subjects like suicide. Critics' concerns about the ethics of communicating with spirits in tragic cases. Supporters who believe Caputo's work helps in the grieving process and offers a sense of closure. A deeper dive into the ethical considerations of mediumship, especially regarding death by suicide. Caputo's stance on suicide and how she navigates these conversations with care and sensitivity. Balancing the spiritual beliefs and the need for professional counseling when it comes to suicide. Psychological perspective on the grief and trauma caused by suicide. Spiritual beliefs surrounding suicide in different cultures and how mediumship fits into these views. How Caputo's work may align or conflict with these various perspectives. Interviews with Theresa Caputo discussing the emotional impact of her work, especially when dealing with tragic circumstances. Her personal philosophy on mediumship, healing, and the afterlife. How Caputo copes with the emotional toll of her work and supports her own mental health. Reflection on the importance of offering comfort to those who are grieving, especially after the tragic loss of a loved one to suicide. Controversial and comforting aspects of mediumship, with particular regard to Theresa Caputo's approach. However, Theresa Caputo's role as a psychic medium, especially her work on Long Island Medium. Mention of the powerful impact her readings have on the individuals involved, especially when family members connect with loved ones who have passed away under traumatic circumstances. Introduce the specific episode or case in which a daughter receives a visit from her murdered father through Theresa Caputo. A deeper dive into who Theresa Caputo is, her early life, how she discovered her psychic abilities, and how she became a public figure through her TV show. Caputo's approach to mediumship and her reputation for being a direct, compassionate conduit between the living and the deceased. Her ability to work with individuals who have experienced traumatic losses, offering them the opportunity to connect with their loved ones for closure. The role of mediumship in offering comfort and closure to those grieving the loss of a loved one. How Caputo's approach differs from other forms of grief counseling. The psychological and emotional impact that messages from the deceased can have on family members. Introduction to the family involved in this particular reading. Describe the daughter's experience and her traumatic loss. The background of the murder case. How the husband passed away, the circumstances of the tragedy, and the impact on his family. How the family struggled with unresolved emotions and their search for closure after the murder. A detailed account of the reading where Theresa Caputo connects with the murdered husband's spirit. The messages he conveyed to his daughter, including any specific details that only she would understand, to validate the authenticity of the reading. How Theresa described the deceased husband's presence and any physical or emotional sensations she experienced during the session. Caputo's interpretation of the spirit's messages, offering comfort to the grieving daughter. The most powerful moment. How the daughter received a message from her father in the form of a hug or comforting gesture. Emotional reactions from the daughter during the reading, capturing the heart-wrenching and cathartic nature of the experience. How the reading provided the daughter with a sense of peace and closure, knowing her father was still watching over her. The role of mediumship in facilitating emotional healing, especially after violent or unexpected deaths like murder. Discussion of how Theresa Caputo navigates sensitive topics such as murder and unresolved trauma in her readings. Caputo's approach to helping individuals understand that their loved ones are at peace, even after such tragic events. Testimonials or reflections from the daughter on how the reading affected her healing journey. How the family reacted to the reading and the messages from the deceased husband. Reflections from other family members, friends, or those close to the situation who may have witnessed or been involved in the reading. How viewers of Long Island Medium responded to this emotional episode, both on TV and on social media. The impact of the reading on the broader audience, and how it may have resonated with others who have experienced similar tragedies. A deeper exploration of how mediumship aids individuals in processing their grief after traumatic losses, like murder. How connecting with the deceased can offer a sense of continuity and healing for those left behind. The psychological, emotional, and spiritual implications of grief, and why mediumship can be a valuable tool for some in their healing journey. The ethical considerations around mediumship in sensitive situations like murder, where the grief is often compounded by trauma and justice issues. Exploration of the public's mixed reactions to Theresa Caputo's mediumship. Some see her as a true spiritual conduit, while others criticize her for commercializing grief or exploiting trauma. A look at the ethical debate surrounding mediums, especially in emotionally charged cases like murder, and whether it's appropriate to communicate with the deceased in these instances. Supporters who believe Theresa's work offers invaluable healing and closure, citing specific cases like the murdered husband's reading as evidence of the positive effects of mediumship. An interview or reflection from Theresa Caputo herself on how she handles challenging readings, especially those involving tragic deaths like murder. Her thoughts on the importance of offering comfort and support to the grieving, especially when a reading might help them make sense of a traumatic loss. Caputo's perspective on how she stays grounded emotionally after performing such emotionally charged readings. A final reflection on the power of Theresa Caputo's work as a medium, particularly in cases involving tragic deaths like murder. How this particular reading helped not only the daughter but also the audience, showing that there is hope for healing even after the most devastating events. The lasting impact of the reading on both the family involved and viewers, offering comfort and a sense of connection with the deceased. Hello lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Mina. Hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe.